Hello everyone, today we are going to be building a game in Pygame using just ChatGPT. I have no idea how this is going to go. We're just going to code for 30 minutes to an hour and we're going to see where we get to. I did a video the other day and it was just a lot of fun, so I wanted to do it again. And I'll probably make a few more of these, so subscribe if you want to see that. Um, so obviously Pygame is not like an amazing game engine or anything, but I thought we could try and do something quite fun. And again, I have no idea how this is going to go. So one of my favorite games is Anno, and I thought, could we build something that uses some of these sort of mechanics, like a production chain? Uh, so let's start by, hang on, actually, firstly, let's go and open our code. I'm going to remove this xms.py, that was the other file. We're going to clear, and I'm going to make another file. We'll just call it game.py. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. Right now we don't have any sort of game assets, so we might need to install some of these, but that's okay. So we've just got a blank file. The other thing I'm going to do is I've got this virtual environment, and it doesn't have a lot inside it. I think it's literally just like Pygame I've installed inside it. So yeah, let's do that. Got a million things open. I did write a query on my phone before, so I'm going to try and see if this helps. Help me build a simplified production chain game in Pygame. And we're just going to keep incrementing, right? We're going to copy the code and then we're going to increment with more features. That's sort of the idea. And see where we get to. And hopefully it works. It should be, grid-based production timers for resources, etc. A bit like Anno, but much more simplified and using no sort of game assets. Let's just build something simple. So I've still got this obnoxious cough. Okay, so we've got something that's going, and we're just going to see what happens here. I know we'll eventually run out of queries with this. ChatGPT can make mistakes, that's fine. Okay, so we've got something now. So let's copy and paste this. And let's run it. Hopefully this works. Python, and we're going to do game.py. So we've got wood and planks. Now I don't know how you play this game. So I think right now, maybe the game can't even do anything. Okay. But we've got our grid. Okay. Shall we see what ChatGPT actually said? Here's the base code for simplified production chain game in Pygame. The mechanics allow you to place buildings like woodcutters and sawmills, which generate resources over time. Should we try that again? I don't think we can actually do anything. From what I can see, oh no. Planks of wood. Okay, so let's just go back to our thing. So the grid has appeared, and we have what do we have? Wood and planks, and we have wood, 0 and planks, 0 in the top left corner, but we can't actually do anything. Can we extend this game to be able to interact with the grid? That was a bit vague, I guess. I can see from the code, though, that we should be able to do stuff. For whatever reason, we can't. Okay, so that also crashes if we click outside of the grid. So let's clear this for now. Oh, okay, maybe we should have read it first. Oh. Okay, so at least we can see that here. We probably should have asked for some instructions, maybe. So this was some ultimate laziness. But the idea of this wasn't really to program. It's to literally build a game and just iterate on it using ChatGPT. So let's upgrade this. This probably hasn't even changed. Press. Okay, so it's just giving us the actual... So we have a woodcutter. So woodcutter is a W. Do we need to click? Oh, so W, then click. S, then click. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Let's try that again. So W, woodcutter. Let's go in caps. Okay, we're going to have to debug this further. Still doesn't seem to be doing anything. Should we have a look at the code? Should we make sure that we've imported everything we need? Initialize, so Pygame. Doesn't seem, whoops, we're in caps, doesn't seem to be working. Nothing happens when I press W or S and then click on a tile. It would be, I think this is supposed to happen already. It would be helpful if that tile changed color and then had a timer and the resources increased on said timer. Which I think it's trying to do. See, it hasn't changed any of this code. Still hasn't changed any code. Oh, okay, now it's changed some code. Small amount of code. Changed a bit of code there. Let's grab all of that. Put it all in here. So, did it change code? It certainly looked like it did. So, W. So we've selected woodcutter. Okay, we've now got a woodcutter tile. And we're producing wood. This is amazing. Cool. So, now we want to select a sawmill. And then let's click on, let's put that here. We maybe should have put it in a corner. Cool, now we're producing, and you can see when planks increase, wood goes down by 1. Okay, pretty neat, I think. Hopefully we can keep going. What do we want to do now? If we're making a Anno clone, then the next thing we want to do probably is when you have, shall we do 5 planks, I want to be able to build a house. Okay. So, very nice. Let's say, very nice. Now, when I have 5 planks, I want to be able to place a house, which is 1 tile, 1 tile, and a different color. Let's use the American color, I guess. It doesn't matter. Very nice. Now when I have 5 planks, I want to be able to place a house. This will use 5 planks. Okay. Now I'm not sure. I think this is the yeah, I do think this is limited. I think this is a premium version of ChatGPT that you get. I don't know how many requests you get per day. Maybe I'll buy it. It's a lot of fun. Sort of more fun than playing a game. Although it's probably because I've played so much Anno. There you go. You've hit your free limit with GPT 4.0. Did it update it though? That's what matters. Okay, yeah. We've got a house. Cool. It's only a few more lines of code. I just wonder. I'm not going to get it right this second. I'm just taking this off screen. So, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like doxing myself or anything. So for $20 a month, everything in free. Limited access to O1 and O1 Mini. Opportunity to test new features. Limited access to Sora. I don't think you get access to Sora in the UK. Does it say anything about GPT 4.0? I don't think so. Anyway, we definitely got distracted there. Maybe O1 can do the same thing. So let's go back. Let's see what our game is like now. Okay, so currently we've got 0 wood. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to select wood. We're going to have a woodcutter here. And then we're going to have a sawmill here. Okay, we'll have a sawmill here and here. Be nice if they were a bit more defined, but, you know, it would be good to have a legend. Once I have 5 planks, as I do now, let's build houses here in the top right corner. You can see that our planks went down to 3. So when that's at, okay, let's go. So now we can just start building houses. Pretty cool. So we're starting to get a Anno-like game. I feel like this could be fun. I would like to make a game like this. I don't know if it's better to maybe make it as a browser game. What I'll do is I'll make sure to... Should we create a Git repo for this? And then you guys can access that code for free. So if I go on GitHub, although I should probably move it into, let's make a directory called, I don't know, should we call it Anolite? It's not an Anolite. Okay. Why am I not just signing in to my GitHub? And what we'll do is we will create a new repository. I'm just going to call it Anolite. I mean, it's a stupid name, but I don't care. An Anolite type game using a grid built in Pygame. I guess that could be it. Should we get a license? A license? Don't care. Create a repository. Okay. I think I should have SSH. Okay. I've actually not used Git for a while. If we do a Git clone, does that set it up? Anolite. Okay. I mean, okay, we're going to have it inside here. That's fine. And we're going to move the game, which I think I just called game, into here. Okay. We're going to do git add all, git commit dash, and I don't know, initial base game. Git push. Ooh, writing directly to main. And there you go, we've got our code. And I will make sure to share this code if you guys want to play, or just play around with it, extend it. I think it could be a lot of fun. So where are we at now? We obviously don't want to be working with this file anymore. We want to be working with this file. And we also need to now make a new something that annoys me a little bit is I wish it would just switch the model. So at this point I can no longer interact with this chat as far as I can tell. What happens if we run? This is quite interesting. Will it actually run Pygame in the browser? It's taking a while. I'm not convinced this is going to work. I'll be quite surprised. This is really taking a while. There's not really a lot of packages to install, so I wonder if it's actually doing it, or because I've hit my limit that this counts as a GPT 4.0 request, and that this is a bit of a bug. Oh, it's trying to do it, but I've actually hit the limit, but it's not telling me in the console that I've hit the limit, or if it's just taking ages to do so. Should we just move on? Let's move on. So I'm just going to drag this across. We're going to start a new chat, and we're now just using normal GPT-01, I guess. Okay. Let's say I've got this code. I've got the above code. What features could we add to this game to make it more interesting? And let's say, give me some suggestions. Upgrade system for buildings. Allow players to upgrade buildings. No, I don't think we need that right now. I think, should we just follow what Anno has? I think what would be cool is if a house had needs. Let's start with one need and say a house needs house has needs. Let's start with one need. I want you to say what, because I can't think of a need right now, and when we have a house we need that thing. Also, the thing needs to be built, of course. Look at this, this is some English, but I'm sure ChatGPT will come through using planks. Cool, let's go. Great idea. We can add food. Cool. Food. I could have said market. I guess that's like the first need in Anno. Yeah. I think this definitely could be a fun game. I'm tempted to build this as a web browser. Oh, what's happening? Oh. Can you extend the code? I've always thought we might have to do is break it down, and yeah, I know when ChatGPT first came out, it was very limited. It would sometimes just stop. I don't know if you guys ever used it back when it first came out, and you're like, oh, generate this code, and then it would just stop. It would be like, they wouldn't tell you that it was stopping. It would just be like, it would just stop in the middle of this if statement. So has this been updated? Oh, you've done farm. What I can't see is that it has needs, but let's start here. Let's see what this looks like. We're extending our code. Alright. Python. And remember this, if you're grabbing this code, you'll have to activate a virtual environment. I have not done that. There's none in the repo, because I don't think that generally works. Oh, okay. So let's start again with a W. Have a woodcutter. Another woodcutter. Sawmill, sawmill. Then we want a house once we have 5 planks. Come on. Once we have that. And now we need a farm. Now I don't know how expensive is a farm to us. A farm also costs 5. Oh no, that's 5 seconds. What's the cost? Well, I guess we'll find out. Surely that'd be enough. Let's just build one here. It was 3. And we can now do a house again. Obviously this isn't very good. Okay, let's keep going. So I think we've done quite well. We're like 25 minutes in. And I think we have a pretty good base game. Sure, let's extend the code by adding food need for houses and farm building that produces the food. Now, I think for it to feel like a game, we have to have the consequences. So is it possible now to make the house, to make any house disappear if after, say, 30 seconds, if no farm exists. That's what we want. Which sort of simulates the sort of idea, you know, when there's no market in Anno, then you'll get ruins. So obviously we're not building ruins right now. It's a bit more, it wouldn't be much more complex, but certainly increases git add or git commit -m adds the ability to build farms. Okay. Lovely jubbly. So again, W for woodcutters. Okay, we got 3 now. Sawmill. Guess we're doing this kind of a build. Then we want a house. So what I'm going to do is, I guess we're just going to wait. Right? Build a house here. And let's build a house here. And let's build a house here. Eventually this one should disappear because we've not built a farm. So let's see if that works. It'd be good if it had like a countdown on it. I'm wondering if what's happening is that when I build a new house, that the timer is resetting because it's not disappeared yet. So what I'll do is I'll just leave it. We could use the wood as a sort of timer, although I guess it's doesn't seem to be disappearing. Let's have a look at the code. It doesn't seem to be working. Is that the same? I think we're just going to go ahead and say the house doesn't seem to be disappearing. It would also be nice if we had the countdown timer on the house, if possible. Of when it will disappear. This definitely hasn't worked. We've got loads of wood. Okay, so this is where ChatGPT falls down. Like, it will give you stuff and it will be wrong, as we all know. But it will still give you it, and then you will tell it it's wrong, and it will be like, yes, you're right, it's wrong. So it's quite interesting. But I guess at least it's able to acknowledge that it's wrong, which is quite nice. So we have extended the code by about 10 to 20 lines. Let's clear this. So again, what do we want? W for woodcutter, S for sawmill, and let's just go crazy. So we can get that going quite quickly. Now we want a house. So it doesn't have the time on it. But what I'm going to do is just wait to see if this disappears. Because there needs to be a consequence for not having a farm. Otherwise you don't need a farm. My gut is telling me this isn't working. F for farm, right? Did I click? No, I've got house selected. Are these different blues? No. I'm just going to say this still isn't working. This still isn't working. Also, the countdown isn't appearing on the house if there's no farm. We'll check if there are any farms, and if there are none, we'll track the time passed since the house was placed. The countdown timer for the house will... That sounds good. Sounds like good logic. I do think there becomes a point where it might stop being able to generate code, and we might have to start, God forbid, we might have to write our own code. Okay. So I'm just going to test this code again before we actually, same thing again, woodcutter, boom, 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 sawmill, boom, 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 house. Okay, I was like, why can't I build a house? But there's not enough planks. So because there's no farm, still not working. Definitely not working. Let's leave that here. Whilst we have a look at the code. So here's the corrected code. The countdown will be rendered when the house... The countdown for when the house will disappear will be rendered over the house. That's not happening. House. Produce is expired. So check if 30 seconds have passed since the house was built. Return true. 30. Draw grid. Check for farm. For buildings, if building.type is farm, turn true. So that's literally just it's just going through all buildings and checking if there's a farm. The house is still not disappearing if there's no farm on the map. Are we making sure to update the tile to its original color to signify the house is gone? Or we could make it another color to signify it's now broken, or there's no residents or whatever. As they have no food. I'm just wondering if what's happening is that it's just not actually updating the grid. Seems like the main issue is that when the house expires, it's not being visually updated to show that it's gone, or to show it's broken. Yeah, this was my guess. So I think they built the logic. But the main thing was that we weren't actually doing anything with it. It was just doing nothing. So let's check the code. So literally only needed like an extra line, which doesn't surprise me, because it would just be like clearing the canvas. So we want a woodcutter. Then we want a sawmill. Then we want a house. Timer's still not there, but it might actually disappear this time. Who knows? There's no food. Oops, just knocked the mic. Apologies. Should we make it like 10 seconds? Let's see. Clock tick. Check farm. Draw HUD. Draw grid. Let's make this like 5 seconds long, because it's just taking ages. Okay, house. So that should disappear within like a few seconds. Which it's not doing. ChatGPT is having a meltdown. It doesn't understand the house is still not disappearing when there's no food after the timer has expired. There's also no display for a timer, full stop. Timer, which indicates there's no food for the houses. Let's get this fixed. We seem to be in an infinite loop. I might have to quit here. I don't know how to code in Pygame. We need you, Mr. GPT or Miss GPT. I don't trust this. I have literally zero faith that this is going to work. Go on, let's look at the expected behavior. Houses without food, i.e. no farm, will turn grey and be removed from the game after 30 seconds. I have zero faith for this. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Let's go with a woodcutter. Wood. And then we're going to go sawmill. And then we're going to do house. It's just completely stuck on this. It just has no idea how to make this happen. We might need to investigate ourselves. There's still no farm. Okay. I mean, the only thing we can do is look at the code, to be honest. This might take a minute. If you're bored, I completely understand. So let's see what we can do. So we start off with a bunch of colors. So broken house is this sort of grey color, which I think is the initial grid color. You know, I just want it to be the same. I don't. I mean, it's fine. I guess it's a different type of grey. We should still be able to see it. It's not as blue, is it? So we can leave that. So we've got a wood production timers. So woodcutter, sawmill, farm, which produces food every 5 seconds. Okay, and we have a grid. Okay, and we have our resources, which is wood, planks, and food, which all by default have 0. Buildings. There's no buildings by default. Selected building is none. So produce. So current time. So if current time. Okay, sawmill and resources wood is greater. So yeah, you increase that. Okay. Check is expired. So check if 30 seconds have passed since the house was built. If self.type house, return true or false. Draw grid. Check if farm exists. For building in buildings, if building type.farm is true, which it isn't, should always return false. Where are we calling this? Check for farm. This still isn't doing anything at all. The houses are remaining, even though there's no food. This shouldn't be happening. If you're still here, I respect you greatly. I just want to figure it out. I'm just wondering if it's like more a limitation of Pygame. See, nothing is. I don't think anything has changed again. Come on, let's do our woodcutter. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Sawmill. House. House every weekend. So we've got that running now. What changes did we actually make? Should we ask? What change did you actually make? Like the exact change. Nothing has changed, it seems. Is expired. I added a method is expired in the building class that checks if 30 seconds have expired. Check for farm. So hang on. If building.type equals house and not check for farm, and building dot is expired, grid row building dot col equals broken house buildings dot remove building. And then for building in buildings, if building.type is house and not check for farm, so there isn't a farm, I can't see these print statements either. Do we have these print statements? Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh yeah, we need to put that in the loop. Where's building? See, this is the problem of using something like ChatGPT. You just start to get a bit confused about what's going on. These changes aren't working. Can we simplify this by just displaying a timer which counts down from 10 once we place a house and there's no food? So this should simplify the code a bit, although I wouldn't be surprised it's still doing this check for farm bullshit. We're probably going to stop here. This was never meant as a like a this was really just like what can we achieve in 30 to 50, well, 30 to 1 hour, 30 to 60 minutes. Let's do this, and then we want a sawmill. Well done, ChatGPT, you've broken everything. Maybe this is where the issue is coming from. Displaying a timer. I'm probably going to stop here in a second. This seems to have broken the code completely. I can't even... The wood or logs isn't... Was it logs? Aren't increasing. I think we're going to just see what happens with this. If everything works and the timer displays, then I think we've got one more chance at making this work as I want. If not, we're just going to give this up as a failed experiment. And we'll say ChatGPT, you need to do better. So woodcutter, it's just broken, isn't it? Oh no, it's working. Okay, should start generating some planks. All I want it to do is literally, once we have a house, this is where it's breaking. I'm convinced there's something going on with this timer. I think I might investigate this offline. We're 50 minutes in. I imagine no one's here anymore. And we're going to see what happens. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.